Welcome to Untether Your Soul, a guided meditation inspired by Michael Singer's best-selling book, Untethered Soul. In our fast-paced lives, it's easy to become entangled in thoughts, emotions, and external demands. This practice aims to free you from the limitations of your mind, helping you let go of inner turmoil and live with open-hearted awareness. I will guide you through the book's 19 chapters, offering context and reflective prompts to help you observe your thoughts without attachment, let go of what doesn't serve you, and be fully present. Let's begin. Find a quiet place away from your busy day. Settle into a comfortable position and close your eyes. Start taking a few deep breaths to center yourself. Inhale deeply through your nose and exhale slowly through your mouth. Feel the ground beneath you, supporting you. With each breath, allow yourself to become more centered and grounded. Breathe in and breathe out. Let your body relax and settle into a state of calm awareness. Feel the connection between your body and the earth, anchoring you in this moment. With each inhale, watch your thoughts come. You don't need to engage with them or judge them. Simply observe them. And with each exhale, imagine releasing those thoughts. Picture yourself letting go, creating space for new, positive energy. Now, shift your focus to the present moment. Become aware of the here and now, appreciating the simplicity of the present. Feel the rhythm of your breath, the rise and fall of your chest. Allow yourself to be fully here in this moment, appreciating its simplicity and beauty. Place one hand on your heart and breathe into this space. Visualize your heart opening like a blossoming flower. Feel the warmth and love emanating from this center. Let this feeling of love and connection expand, filling your entire being. And if you notice your mind wandering, gently bring your focus back to your breath, the present moment, and the sound of my voice. Now, as you settle into your meditative state, let's journey through some key insights from Untethered Soul. Let's explore the constant chatter in your mind. This internal voice serves as your personal narrator, interpreting the world around you. While it can provide a sense of comfort, it can also create turmoil when it becomes overactive, especially when fueled by anxiety, fear, or desire. In essence, you're continuously recreating the external world within yourself, living primarily in your mind. True personal growth involves transcending the part of you that feels a constant need for protection. This is achieved by reminding yourself that you are not the voice, but rather the observer of this internal dialogue. Pay attention to the chatter of your mind. Notice its constant commentary on your experiences and surroundings, and reflect on these questions. Can I recognize that I am not this voice, but the one who hears it? How does it feel to step back and simply observe this inner dialogue without becoming entangled in it? The book defines your persistent inner voice as your inner roommate, a tireless, somewhat manic companion that you can't escape. This voice often pulls you from the present moment, even interrupting enjoyable experiences. Freedom comes from awareness of this voice's presence and nature. True peace is not found in solving external problems, but in understanding how situations affect you internally. By observing this inner roommate without engaging in its chatter, you can begin to free yourself from its influence. Observe your inner roommate's dialogue. Notice its constant commentary and perpetual dissatisfaction, and reflect on these questions. How does it feel to recognize that I don't have to answer or engage with this voice, but I can simply observe it? What steps can I take to find peace within, instead of continually trying to solve external problems? When asked, "Who are you?" we often respond with surface-level labels, name, birthplace, or life history. But this exploration invites you to look beyond these superficial identifiers. Your true self is the consciousness that perceives, the inner observer aware of events, thoughts, and emotions. This deeper sense of self exists beyond labels and stories. Reflect on the roles and labels you typically identify with. Recognize that while these are aspects of your life story, they don't encompass your true essence. Then shift your attention to the observer within you, the awareness that notices these thoughts and identities, and consider these questions. How does it feel to connect with this deeper sense of self beyond the labels? Who am I when I let go of these familiar identities? The book draws an analogy between watching a movie and being conscious in your daily life. Just as you can become completely immersed in a film, losing awareness of your surroundings, you can similarly get lost in your thoughts and sensory experiences throughout the day. True awakening occurs when you recognize this absorption and consciously pull back to experience everything from a place of pure awareness, reconnecting with your true self. Reflect on times when you've been so absorbed in an activity or thought that you temporarily lost awareness of yourself and your surroundings, and consider these questions. How can I step back and watch these experiences from the perspective of the observer, reconnecting with the awareness that is always present beyond sensory inputs and thoughts? How can I cultivate this sense of being aware that I am aware in my daily life? The energy that flows within us, often referred to as qi in Chinese culture, is not based on calories or physical sustenance. Instead, it is an inner vitality that you feel when you are open, inspired, or in love. You may recall moments when you were filled with excitement or passion, times when you felt so energized that even basic needs like eating seemed secondary. Conversely, you may remember instances when emotional distress left you feeling drained and lethargic, only to be instantly revitalized by a positive shift. This inner energy is always present, waiting to flow freely when you're open to it. Reflect on a time when you felt a surge of energy from within, whether from love, inspiration, or excitement, and consider these questions. How can I bounce back from negative situations to reclaim my energy? What practices can I adopt to keep this energy flowing effortlessly through me every day? The spiritual heart is our inner energy center. When we are open, energy flows freely, bringing vitality and joy. But when we close our hearts due to fear or pain, we block this flow, leading to heaviness and discomfort. The key is to remain open-hearted, experiencing life's full spectrum without shutting down. This maintains a continuous energy flow, essential for our well-being and spiritual growth. Focus on your heart center. Reflect on times when your heart closed due to fear or pain, and times when you chose to keep it open despite challenges. consider these questions. How did keeping my heart open affect my energy and overall well-being compared to times when I closed off? What practices or mindsets can I adopt to keep my heart open and allow energy to flow freely, even during difficult times? We often have the tendency to close ourselves off when faced with uncomfortable or painful experiences. Each time we close ourselves off, we are essentially resisting life. This resistance creates blockages that prevent us from experiencing life's fullness. To transcend this tendency and maintain a continuous flow of energy, we must practice staying open, even in challenging situations. Reflect on times when you have felt the urge to close off due to discomfort or pain, and times when you consciously chose to stay open instead. Consider these questions. How did my decision to close off or stay open impact my experience and my energy in those moments? What can I change to help me remain open-hearted in the face of life's challenges? One of the book's central teachings is the importance of letting go. We often cling to thoughts, emotions, or experiences that weigh us down, causing us to become stuck and hindering our spiritual journey. Letting go is essential for maintaining inner peace and progressing on our path toward freedom. Consider what thoughts, emotions, or experiences you might be holding on to that are causing you stress or preventing you from feeling joy and love. Try to identify one thing you are ready to let go of right now and reflect on these questions. How does it feel when I let go? What specific steps or practices can I implement in my daily life to cultivate the habit of letting go and releasing what no longer serves me? The book uses the metaphor of a thorn to represent the deep-seated issues and discomforts we carry within us. We often spend a lot of energy trying to avoid triggering these thorns, and this avoidance can lead to a cycle of constantly managing and protecting ourselves from discomfort instead of truly healing. The key is to learn to face these internal thorns directly and take steps to remove them, rather than merely avoiding them. And by doing so, we can free ourselves from the underlying disturbances that affect our peace and happiness. Reflect on a thorn you carry within you, something that causes you recurring discomfort or pain. It could be a fear, an unresolved issue, or a persistent negative thought pattern. And consider these questions. How can I address this thorn and remove it, rather than just avoiding it, finding peace with my current circumstances? What would it look like to face and remove this discomfort directly? Many of us experience a constant mental and emotional suffering. This suffering is so pervasive that we often don't even recognize it, much like a fish doesn't see the water it swims in. We have conditioned our minds to obsess over personal desires and fears, creating a cycle of neurotic thoughts. Instead of expecting the mind to fix our inner problems, we should view the mind as a tool capable of pondering great thoughts, solving problems, and serving humanity. By stepping back from our mind's incessant chatter, we can find peace and clarity. Imagine what life would be like without the constant neurotic thoughts running through your mind, and consider these questions. How can I start seeing my mind as a tool for productive thinking rather than a source of suffering? What specific practices or techniques can I adopt in my daily life to step back from the incessant mental chatter and find peace within myself? When we constantly try to avoid pain, it essentially runs our lives. Our fears and unprocessed pain affect all our thoughts and actions, creating layers of sensitivities that limit our freedom. True spiritual growth involves recognizing the pain and fears that dictate our behaviors and choosing to release them, so that we can live a life of true freedom and experience the world in its fullness. Reflect on a time when you avoided a situation to escape pain, and how that decision impacted your life and relationships. Recall the feelings and consequences associated with that avoidance, and consider these questions. What specific steps can I take to face and process my pain instead of avoiding it next time I encounter a similar situation? How might confronting my pain, rather than avoiding it, lead to a deeper sense of freedom and inner peace in my life? We often build emotional walls around ourselves. These walls, constructed from our fears and insecurities, are meant to protect us from pain and discomfort. While they may offer a sense of security, they also confine us, limiting our experiences of life. The path to true freedom involves facing these fears and insecurities head-on, allowing us to experience liberation and openness. Reflect on the walls you have built around yourself to protect from emotional pain, and identify the specific fears or insecurities these walls are made of. Consider these questions. How can I begin to take down these walls and open myself up to the full spectrum of life? What might I experience in my approach to life and in my relationships if I allowed myself to be truly open and vulnerable? Our comfort zones impose limitations on our lives, keeping us confined and restricting our movements and experiences. Spiritual awakening involves recognizing that we are caged by our fears and discomforts. When we face these fears and let go of efforts to stay within defined limits, we can begin to experience the infinite nature of our souls. Reflect on the limits that your comfort zone imposes on your life because of your fears. Consider the boundaries you've set for yourself and how they might be holding you back from fully experiencing life, and answer these questions. How can I begin to step beyond these limits and embrace the infinite nature of my soul? What experiences and freedoms might I discover by venturing beyond my comfort zone, changing my life and my understanding of myself? False solidity is the illusion of stability and permanence we often cling to in our lives. This stems from our attachments to people, places, and things, which we believe provide us with security and identity. However, these attachments can become sources of suffering when they inevitably change or are lost. We should let go of these attachments and embrace the inherent impermanence of life. By doing so, we can experience a deeper sense of peace and freedom, realizing that our true essence is not dependent on external circumstances. Consider the attachments in your life that you cling to for a sense of security and identity, and recognize how these attachments create a false sense of solidity. Consider these questions. What specific steps can I take to let go of these attachments and embrace the impermanence of life? How can this shift in perspective from clinging to impermanence to embracing it bring me greater peace and freedom in my daily life? Unconditional happiness is the idea that true happiness comes from within and doesn't depend on external circumstances. Most people tie their happiness to specific outcomes, situations, or possessions, which leads to a fragile and conditional state of well-being. By choosing to be happy regardless of what happens in life, we can achieve a deeper, more resilient form of happiness. This involves letting go of our expectations and accepting life as it unfolds, trusting that we can handle whatever comes our way with a positive and open heart. Reflect on the conditions you place on your happiness and the expectations or outcomes that you think need to occur for you to be happy. Consider these questions. How can I cultivate a sense of unconditional happiness, choosing to be happy regardless of external circumstances? What specific practices or mindsets can I adopt to help me maintain this inner state of well-being, even when faced with challenges or disappointments? Much of our suffering comes from resisting the natural flow of life. By trying to control or resist experiences, emotions, or changes, we create tension and conflict within ourselves. Non-resistance is a key aspect of spiritual growth. It involves allowing life to unfold without trying to control every aspect of it. This doesn't mean passive acceptance of all circumstances, but rather an active choice to remain open and accepting of what is, without adding layers of resistance and struggle. Reflect on areas in your life where you feel resistance, tension, or conflict, and identify what you're trying to control or change in these situations. Consider these questions. How can I practice non-resistance and allow life to unfold naturally in these situations? What might I experience if I embraced a stance of openness and acceptance instead of resistance? The contemplation of death is a tool for spiritual awakening and gaining perspective. While we intellectually understand that we are not our bodies, the reality of death brings this truth into sharp focus. The key is not to wait until the end of our lives to learn the lessons death has to teach. Instead, by contemplating our mortality, we can live more fully and authentically, letting go of the trivial struggles of daily life and focusing on what truly matters. Reflect on the reality of your own mortality and how this can impact how you choose to live. Consider these questions. How does the awareness that I could die at any moment change my perspective on my current struggles or worries? How can contemplating death help me prioritize what truly matters in my life and appreciate each moment more fully? The concept of the middle way is a balanced approach to life influenced by teachings such as the Tao Te Ching by Lao Tzu. This philosophy avoids the extremes of overindulgence and severe restriction, emphasizing living in harmony with the natural flow of life. When we maintain equilibrium in all aspects of our existence, from our thoughts to our actions and reactions, we can live with greater ease and wisdom. Reflect on areas of your life where you may be experiencing extremes, whether it's in your habits, emotions, or reactions. Consider how these extremes might be impacting your well-being and relationships, and answer these questions. What specific changes or adjustments might help me bring more balance to these areas of my life and move towards the middle way? What does the middle way look like for me personally? And how can embracing this path help me navigate life's ups and downs with greater peace and stability? The book ends with the idea of seeing the world through the loving eyes of God. Here, God can be understood as any source of divinity, the universe, or higher consciousness, depending on your personal beliefs and understanding. We can experience connection and oneness by letting go of our personal identities and limited perspectives, and instead embracing a more expansive divine view of life. When we open our heart and mind to the infinite love and wisdom that surrounds us, we can see the beauty and perfection in every moment and in every being. Reflect on how you currently perceive the world around you, noting your usual perspective and the filters through which you view your experiences and interactions. Consider these questions. What does it mean for me to see with the loving eyes of God? What specific practices or mindset shifts could help me embrace a more expansive and loving perspective in my daily life? Gradually bring your awareness back to the room. Wiggle your fingers and toes, becoming aware of your surroundings. Take a deep breath in and out. And when you're ready, gently open your eyes. Before concluding, take a moment to express gratitude for this practice and the time you have dedicated to yourself. If you can, reflect on your experience and set an intention for the day ahead, or journal about any feelings or insights that emerged, like the importance of letting go. Writing can be a powerful way to deepen your understanding and integrate your experience. As the author of the book, Michael Singer, teaches, you have the power to observe your thoughts and emotions without being controlled by them. Try to carry this awareness into your daily life, as implementing it can bring more peace and focus. Thank you for joining me in this meditation. May you carry inner peace and freedom with you throughout the day.